Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journaling video, and this one is most definitely inspired by the lovely, talented Niamh Baly. Anyone who watches me or Niamh will know that sometimes we bounce off each other with inspiration and ideas, and I just happened to come across one of her YouTube videos where she created this gorgeous background, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything like that for ages. I must have a try. So I am apparently covering my journal in clear gesso. So I'm working in the large craft journal, and I'm using a collage image from Natalie May Scrapbooking. I do have some of these available on my website, including some brand new ones that have just recently come out. So the reason for the clear gesso, if you've not come across this before, the craft paper that's in the large craft journal from Dina Wakley is quite a thirsty paper, and adding that clear gesso just means that it will not drink up all the paint and absorb all the colour. It helps the paint and the colours sort of work a bit more easily. So I'm starting off with lemon and turquoise. So I'm going to be adding the image on the right hand side of my page, and as I said, it's a collage paper from Natalie May Scrapbooking. I have removed the excess from around the face, so I've removed, I can't speak, I've removed the hair because I'm going to be adding some of my own. The stencil that I'm currently using is one designed by me for Funky Fossil. It's called Dots and Dashes, and I'm using my favourite pink from Amsterdam Acrylic, which is called Permanent Red Violet Light. It's just such a lovely pink. It's got a touch of lilac in it, so it's like all my favourite things all in one tube, really. Yeah, you can see I just keep checking that I'm not bringing the stenciling too far over to the right. I don't know if my microphone will have just caught, that was a dog, one of the neighbours' dogs sort of out in the garden, and it was just howling a little bit. So then I'm just using the turquoise through the dotty part of the stencil too, keeping the stenciling in the same colours that I've used already. It just helps create that sort of slightly cohesive background. Then I'm using my dotty stamp. You guys will be sick of seeing this stamp, but I love it and I use it all the time. And then I am using some... Ooh, that looks like it might be white, but it could also be... No, I think it is white. Yeah, I'm going in with white. Although carnation would work just as well because it's pink and it would go with the pink that's already on the page. So this is bringing in some contrast and just adding those layers to the page. And I'm sure if you do watch Niamh, you will recognise her influence here with this background. And look at me go. I've actually left some blank spaces on my page too. That's most unlike me. So here I'm just popping the image in place, holding it where I want it to be, and I'm just going to sketch around the outside of it, because what I'm going to do is add some white paint underneath it so that when I stick it down, the colour of the image isn't altered by the craft or any of that colour from the paint peeping through and altering the colours on the skin tone and just altering the image really. I want it to sort of stay as true as it is. So that's just white acrylic paint, it's nothing special. White gesso would work just as well. And then I am using some matte medium and I'm just sticking this image in place. Making sure to brush the matte medium over the top of the image as well, because then that helps to seal it in place, and it means if I wanted to, I could then add some colours over the top. So then I am using some of the Tim Holtz Media Marks stamps just to add some mark making onto my background, and I'm using some coloured ink pads as well, a variety of colours. Oh, see, that one doesn't really want to stick on there. And actually, look, I'm not very sensible inking those up on top of the face, because it's just asking to end up with ink all over the face, isn't it? So, you know, you don't always realise you're doing it when you're in the throes of creating. But now looking back, I just think, oh my gosh, that is really not very clever. So now I'm just sketching in the hair, and I'm going for that kind of flowy hair that's blowing in the wind. You know, the way we always hope we look when the wind's blowing our hair, and actually we look more like a scarecrow than we do some glamorous woman from a film with hair flowing behind you. No, that never happens, does it? And then of course I've got to use my favourite pink. So that also helps to tie in the image with the background as well. And I am to start off with just painting that all over where the hair is going to go. And also doing this just means I can look when I've got that painted in and see whether I've done enough hair or whether I need to add any more. And then I decided I would use a smaller brush just to get in around those bits of hair around the side of the face. And then just using that wet baby wipe to mop up any bits where I've gone too smudgy. And now I'm dithering about, aren't I? I think this was the point where I was thinking, I think I just want to add some like stray hairs just to soften those edges, which were a little bit harsh. So that's kind of what I did. Next I'm going with my Stabilo All Pencil and just sharpening up some of those lines around the edge of the face because they've got a little bit blurred. And then I am adding the lines in on the hair. Now, as with something like this, you want to go with an idea of hair, in my opinion, not worry too much about it being completely accurate. This is a scribble stick from Dina, and I'm pretty sure I was using Rosie, so it's one of the metallic ones. It's really pretty. And here I'm just using oh goodness, what, Neo Colour 2 in I'm just having a look what it colour it's salmon, just to add some colour onto the cheeks as well. Then I'm taking my water brush and I'm just softening up those black lines that I've added using the Stabilo pencil. Just water activating those. I'm going to add a few onto the hair as well and do the same with those. And you can see I'm starting to build up those layers of contrast really. And then this is also a scribble stick. So obviously on this image by Natalie, there are already areas of highlight, and I'm just adding more white onto those just to make those pop a bit more. Absolutely love these faces, they're so fabulous. And then I was writing my words on the left hand side of the page using a Posca pen. As is often the case with some of my art journaling, it's inspired by or influenced by something that has happened. And often, maybe just because of where I am in my life, the age that my children are, it is to do with something that's happened to one of them. And this page certainly was that, about needing to pick yourself up sometimes, take a deep breath and just start again. And know that things will get better. So here I've taken a Signo Uniball in white, and I'm starting to add almost like a drop shadow onto the words on my page, taking my time doing this because it's one of those things that you do it, and if you're not careful, your words disappear. And I left this bit in because I thought it would be good for you to see that the way the videos are edited are not always how it goes. So I did it and I didn't like it, so I just rubbed it away. And yes, some of the black smudged onto the craft paper, but I wasn't bothered. It doesn't matter. So don't panic if you do something you don't like. It isn't unrescuable. You can sort it. So then I've just added some lines in between the writing just to kind of separate. Oh, there's a lovely bird singing, to separate those off from each other. So here is my journal page in the large craft journal using an image from Natalie May Scrapbooking inspired by Niamh Baly. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Go and check out Niamh's channel. I'm sure you have already. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.